Hello friends, this is Rajiv Sharma. Those of you who do not know me, let me give you my one-line description. I have been in journalism for 38 years. I'm an author of 7 books, largely on international relations and terrorism. And my deep focus area in my journalistic years of 38 plus has been diplomacy and strategic issues. Well, here I am before you with a very special topic, a human interest topic which overlaps with diplomacy and international relations. This is Indians stranded in Nigeria. Yes, there are 9,000 of them according to one estimate. Now, let me give you details. Well, as we know that the Indian community in Nigeria is quite strong, it's over 50,000. But few people would know that as many as 9,000 Indians, largely businessmen, those who had gone there for business in March, they are stranded ever since the India lockdown has begun on 25th of March. Well, one of the stranded Indians, Vijay Malik, he is the president of Delhi Stainless Steel Cutlery Association. He reached Lagos, the commercial hub of Nigeria, on 2nd of March. Now he is close to 3 months, It is close to 3 months since he has been there. He is a diabetic, he is a blood pressure patient. He has gone from pillar to post, trying to get himself evacuated like many other Indians, but so far nothing. On 24th of May, India had scheduled a flight, the first flight, charging $1,600 per passenger. Now, that flight has now been rescheduled for 1st of June. We don't know how many flights will be there because, as per Vijay Malik, there are 6,000 to 7,000 Indians, standard Indians figures he is giving in Lagos only. In Kano state there are 700, in Port Harcourt there are 1,000, and in the capital of Nigeria, Abuja, the number is not known, so he says that it should be at least 9,000 standard Indians in Nigeria. Now, Vijay Malik wrote a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 10th of May, to which he has not got any response, no acknowledgement. Recently, the stranded Indian community in Nigeria had a Zoom interaction with the BJP leader Vijay Jolly, and according to these stranded Indians, Vijay Jolly promised them a speedy evacuation, and he also promised that he will put Vijay Malik's letter to Prime Minister on Prime Minister's table itself. Well, so far so good, let's see. But you see, the problems are far too many. First of all, they had gone there for a brief visit. Take the case of Jyoti Sawadekar, a 52-year-old Indian who is a native of Pune. She came to Nigeria from USA for just a 4-day business trip for her export purposes, and she got stranded. She is a patient of high BP and sugar, and she stranded. There are many others, rather thousands of them. The problem is, first of all, why many Indians are saying that had, for example, Take the example of Anil Garg, who is the General Secretary of an All India, the Delhi chapter of an All India small traders body. Anil Garg, who operates out of Wazirpur industrial area, he says that he himself knows at least a dozen odd Indian businessmen, Delhi-based businessmen who are currently stranded in Nigeria. Anil Garg says that he and his hundreds of colleagues in Wazirpur industrial area have been very active, rather hyperactive on social media, including Facebook and Twitter, and nothing has moved. Anil Garg also says in one of his tweets, he has said that he has tweeted to Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar saying that had Sushma Swaraj been alive, the Indians would not have been stranded till now in Nigeria. Anyway, however, the stranded Indian community is feeling the pinch of everything there. The state of affairs, the medical situation, medical facilities in Nigeria are not too good. They are told that the entire country there are just 175 ventilators, and most of the businessmen, those who were there, they have run out of money. They cannot afford hotel expenses, yet they are being made to pay through their noses. Many of them are still in hotel, forced stay in hotels. Many of the Indians have moved to, they have been begging for shelter from the Indian community. Indian community has been supportive, cooperative. They have given them shelter, but for how long? For 9,000 people, it would take at least 30 flights. Not even first flight has taken off yet. And we don't even know. See, I spoke to the officials in Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi. And the official said that yes, the chart is being prepared. It is a dynamic situation. The flights, he said that there are at least, he was aware of at least 2 flights. But this is a fast changing, evolving situation. So he says that exercise patience. Patience is the key word. Well, the standard Indian community, they do not have any complaints from the Indian High Commission in Abuja or in the consulate, Indian consulate in Lagos. For example, the High Commissioner Abhay Thakur, though they have not, the Indians I spoke to in Nigeria, they have not met him or spoken to him, but they don't have any complaints from him. But Indians have particularly good words to say about Deputy High Commissioner Surendra and other Indian High Commission officials in Nigeria like Rachit Rawat, Ajay Sharma, Miss Rekha, whom they found very good and very cooperative. Now, another very important point is that why the government of India is charging $1,600 per person when other airlines like Emirates are ready to do the job for $1,000. Vijay Malik says that if government of India doesn't have enough staff, then why not take services from other airlines like Emirates, Etihad, Qatar, Ethiopian, even Nigeria. Another important point made by Vijay Malik is why quarantine? Even after months of being stranded there in Nigeria, once you reach Delhi, suppose, or India, suppose in the first week of June, in the best case scenario, then why undergo 14 days of quarantine? Well, Vijay Malik says that let them be tested, screened. Any of them who tests positive or shows signs then only he or she should be quarantined and let others be allowed to go home and let them be quarantined at home. And why not the government of India has develops that kind of those of collars, collars or kind of a which are worn on hands or on the anklets, which are GPS enabled, where the government can really track and monitor whether the quarantined person is actually being quarantined or is he or she violating the quarantine. Now, also, well, let me just now tell you the importance of Nigeria. Nigeria, you see, 24% of Nigerian crude is purchased by India alone. And India is a vast purchaser of Nigerian LNG, liquefied natural gas also. Now, the thing is, you see, India is the largest trade partner of Nigeria in Africa. India has been having business ties with Nigeria since 1923. 3 years later, India and Nigeria will be celebrating their century first century of their trade ties. There is a huge connection between Bollywood and Nollywood, the Nigerian film industry. In Kano, the largest city in northern Nigeria, where the film industry is called Kennywood, every night they show Bollywood films. So, and as I said, there are over 50,000 Indians in Nigeria. There are over 135 Indian companies doing business in Nigeria. So, now, let me conclude that government should do something fastest and the very best. And the situation in Nigeria is not very good, considering that their local currency has been devalued by 85%. So people are really suffering. I hope the Minister of External Affairs and Government of India and PM Modi listens to it. And those folks, please, if you like the story, if like the video, put like button, put your comments and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.